prickly pear.
Keep
Atoms to apple.
Ooh.
Guitar strings and fluidity.
Check.
Soft compass.
Yeah.
Spicy feet.
Wow.
Hairy toes.
Easy.
Pale prickly prunes.
Keep going.
Atoms to apples. Apples to atoms. I mean, pears to plums.
Yep.
Plums to dragon fruit. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna be stoned editing this, and then it's just gonna be like,
Yeah, you're gonna start thinking.
just wait. BLM?
Yeah. Back to the conversation last week after.
It's like, yeah, just pair. I thought we
were on BLM. Well, here we are. Episode 5.
Sorry.
For My Behavior.
Featuring
me, Otiano, and
Steve.
That was, you know, I say this every week, man. It's the little uncomfortable, little awkward moments. That was one.
Really?
But no, like, it was the way we did it. I think we're so good at it now to where, like, we know each other pretty well. So, like, we can like the way we just, like, backed and forth there, like, was
I trust
pretty
you.
good. Yeah, and I trust you.
Yeah.
I trust you.
There's a real lack of trust these days in our public squares, in our other types of squares. I don't trust my cinnamon squares.
You don't trust your cinnamon squares?
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the deep topics, what do you mean by that? Is that like actually something, or are we just putting that in there just to put that in there?
That was joke.
That was joke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that was joke. I was about to say, I'm like,
Yeah.
dang. And what is a cinnamon square? Have you ever seen one before? Is that a thing?
I mean, like, I was thinking Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, okay. Your cinnamon.
Yeah.
That's probably like the Food Line brand of like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cinnamon Squares.
Cinnamon Squares.
I bet you there's a box out there that says Cinnamon Squares right now. Right now. Well,
yeah, and well, you know what? Maybe the joke is I don't trust them because I don't know what they're putting in our cereal anymore.
Fucking Food Lion brand cereal. I really don't think we should trust it at all. You know, I realized somebody told me last week that they have a reward system, and I didn't. You know, I knew they had an app, but I didn't think anyone actually had the app. Some people have the app, and they get rewards off of them, which is obviously the whole point of it. But
Well,
it works.
I submit that there are grocery store people.
Yeah. Well, no, if you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised of who said it. You would be very surprised about A, who said it, and B, that they're, well, no.
Who said what?
Well, no. Well, one of my friends, they said that they use the app, the Food Lion app, you know, to purchase the groceries and whatnot.
Like every once in a while they get like a free Gatorade.
Yeah, no, they'll get like a free pack of Gatorade or like some free meats, or they'll use a coupon. You get like 5 pounds of chicken for like $4 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well, I guess, I mean, just because you're Food Lion doesn't mean you're not going to like stay up to date with.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true. You know, Food Lion's only on this part of the U.S.
I believe it.
I never knew. Did you guys have Food Lions out in Jersey?
There's probably a few South Jersey,
but not where
I grew up.
Yeah.
The main grocery stores were
Kroger,
ShopRite, the Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company, otherwise known as AMP, Acme, Stop and Shop. Rest in peace to like the last two I've said. Yeah, and obviously Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Target.
Who?
Target.
Okay, my fault.
Anyways, yeah, so now that we're talking about grocery stores, maybe now is a good way to get into it.
Yeah, to the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I don't know how that.
How do we segue?
How does that
into
segue?
it?
Well, because we left a cliffhanger last week.
You guys come back next week, and I'll explain.
Now we're here.
Yeah, now we're back to here. Well, I guess we could just start. Yeah, like I said last week, man, I didn't really mess with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, man. It just wasn't something that I was a part of, that my family wasn't a part of. And it shook up a lot of it. It's funny, like during that time I was 2021. So, I was,
Ooh.
I was like, it was like my just like coming of age, like figuring out the world. I'm just being able to get into bars and whatnot. And, reading the news or like watching the news or whatever, just hearing all the things about it. It's just something that I never got into for multiple reasons. We'll start off with the first one, right? The first one is because of how much publicity it got in such a negative light for the movement itself, for people who didn't agree with the movement or who thought like, let's just to give them a cushion, not people who necessarily disagreed, but people who just didn't think that the movement was the right thing to do. Which, don't get me wrong, I also don't think it was the right thing to do, but they were thinking about it in a different sense. Like, for example, the people who brought up like having a Black Lives Matter movement end up making their, Blue Lives Matter. There's still stickers out there that say Blue Lives Matter, which are, obviously the police, and or White Lives Matter, or like All Lives Matter. And, all of that, like, I understand everyone's lives matters. Nobody said nobody else's lives matters. The whole point of the whole movement, for what they said they were trying to push, is that, like, hey, we have some stuff going on in America that happens to pertain with disagreements between two different races because of, whatever the case may be. Let's just go ahead and say that their lives matter too. It's talking about black people or African Americans. And that just turned into a whole fiasco of all these people thinking that like their life didn't matter. And I don't know if it was because of that or it's because they just felt like they weren't in the spotlight, but it was just gross to look at. It was just gross to look at all these people like protesting and then like people fighting back and forth. Oh, Black Lives Matter. Well, no, Blue Lives Matter. And then all this and that. The only movement during all that I really disliked more than the Black Lives Matter was the Blue Lives Matter thing too, because that's just disgusting, like that's just
you're already sanctioned by the government and you're given weapons.
Yeah,
it's like
and you don't even understand the whole point of it. Like if you're stuck on the movement in itself being Black Lives Matter, if you're just stuck on the movement, not even the whole concept or what it actually should bring a light towards, then obviously you don't get it, and you really shouldn't be protesting a Blue Lives Matter sticker.
Two things.
Go ahead.
You ever hear about the guy running down the street screaming for peace? He's still disturbing the community.
No.
Just an idea. It's like no matter what, anyone, whether a cause is good or bad, if you have one person yelling about it, it
right.
will cause some reaction that was wholly unintended.
For sure.
And was your being not down with the movement rooted in just the immediate kind of chaos it was providing?
No, it wasn't the immediate chaos, because it took me a while to get to the point where I firmly understood that I just didn't like the movement. It took me it took me like a good portion, like maybe half the time that it was like a big thing.
Were you like me, where at first it was just an exclamation? It was just a thing that like, yo, this is Black Lives Matter. Like,
not necessarily.
And then it was like, wait, no, this is a whole political organization.
Not necessarily, but because I think the only reason why I didn't feel that way is because, like, I'm black. Obviously my life matters. But
what I'm saying is, I wasn't even aware it was a political organization.
Oh yeah,
first,
yeah.
Okay.
So I knew of that, but that's just because my mom is like really deep into my mom's deep into like all of that. Like she's really for like
she hosts a radio show.
Yeah, she hosts Reggae Redemption every Sunday morning, reggae and whatnot. She also is does with diversity and inclusion, which is pretty much like, to get it onto a basic terms, it's just teaching like different people to get along, whether if you're like black, white, yellow, green, it doesn't matter. It's just like she's really good at getting people to understand like the differences in your brain that like me and you may have, or like somebody else who's like a different color may have. And she's like really into the news and whatnot, so she was telling me all about the things, and I was learning it through her. And then I did my own research in itself, and it was just everywhere. It just didn't feel right. Like I said last week, man, it would just be weird for people to come up to me and be nervously nice to me. Like white people coming up to me and being nervously nice. Like, I don't want to get canceled. And I'm like, look, out of all the people who are going to cancel you, I'm not going to be the one. I might find you stupid, but I wouldn't ever say anything about it. I'm a very closeted person with my opinions. I'll voice my opinion if I think it should be said. But in situations like that, I wouldn't. So,
this is 5 podcasts that we're doing now. You haven't noticed that I'm that guy?
Yeah. No, I've noticed that. Well,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
well, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, it's just
I don't want to make you upset.
you wouldn't.
I don't want to.
No, you wouldn't. No, I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying like
That was an attempt at a joke while you were saying something serious. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Hey, calm this down every time. Before we get in that, I would like to say something real quick before it leaves my brain. Somebody said in the comments the other day, Curtis, I believe, he said that.
Shout outs, Curtis.
Shout outs to you, Curtis. I'm listening. He said he wants the Mike Dap shirts.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to push that, man. Like, I was actually something that I really thought, I was like, you know what? That's a great idea.
Let's make that happen.
I'm thinking let's make that happen. Imagine just a little. And then it'll be a little circle of that right there. That would be golden.
You know it could be fun.
Go ahead.
A little bit of a yin-yang thing going on.
Ooh.
You have a white mic in your hand.
Yeah.
With your beautiful black hand.
Yeah.
I got my pasty white hand.
Beautiful pasty and white.
Thank you. I was trying to be self-deprecating.
No, I'm sorry.
And a black microphone.
Yeah.
And we do this. We'll see how that plays out.
I'm thinking that I can get some white tape.
I like yin yang stuff.
I do too. You know, balancing out the good and the bad. You know, balancing out the good and the evil, balancing out the yin and yang. You know, it's a good happy medium of both.
Yeah.
Who would be yang and who would be yin? Yang.
I don't know.
Yang.
Let's ask the twins.
Yeah, let's ask the twins. We'll ask the twins on that.
The yin yang twins.
But back to the BLM things, man. Let me tell you.
First of all, I never thought I would be using a man dancing platform to discuss such
topics.
Yeah, such explosive topics. I think that
it's explosive. Yeah.
Normally, when you bring up the acronym, it even causes
terror.
Just that you could feel the room just go.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure. But it's never done that to me. You know, it's funny. I think it's because I'm in it. Like I'm in the.
Well, yeah, that's why it's lovely to get your perspective on all this.
I just think that, you know, maybe if you start a movement or if you start a political movement, actually mean what you say and actually do the things that you said you were going to do, or, you know, just don't do it. And that's if you're going to shed light on something, at least let the light that's being shed be good. And I know people can change it for however it was, but if you really had good intentions with starting your political movement, then that would have been shown at the end. But all we saw was just, I don't know if you knew, but the people who started it, they bought themselves like mansions and like all these nice, like, you know, assets for themselves and whatnot. And
Really?
the only thing it really did was just cause like a bunch of grief for like 3 years, for like 3 solid years.
You know, I was thinking about this too, even as we started getting into it. It's like I haven't even heard the term BLM or Black Lives Matter, like.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Save for seeing it on someone's lawn.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, for sure.
It's not even something that's really
prominent.
Which is so interesting to me, because when it was happening, it was like, fucking say it.
Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, what in the world, man? Like it for right before. So it was like, you know what it is? It was a bunch of events that happened leading up towards the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and then somebody said, hey, look, this is how I think it happened. This is and this is one of the reasons why I've played this scenario out in my head so many times. So
yeah.
It'll be funny to see how it actually works out. So say I'm the person who made Black Lives Matter movement. I'm watching the TV. I'm black, and I'm like, wow, dude, this country's not looking great, man. All these people, there's just no, like, you know what I'm saying? All these innocent people, all these innocent lives are just, you know, just like being taken for no reason. I want to start a movement for it. However, I think there's no way to fund the movement because I don't have any money. So why don't I just make it like something bigger and something that everybody can get along with, which is just something simple. Black Lives Matter. Now let's just take that to a bigger standpoint. Let's just bring it up, say Black Lives Matter. what does that necessarily mean, right? What does the term Black Lives Matter mean, and what do you mean by when you say that? And I feel like what they meant is they want you to know that individually by themselves, Black African American lives matter. If you just take that in itself, I know I'm going off far here, but I'm gonna bring it back.
No,
I'm gonna bring it back. If you take Black Lives Matter alone by itself, the definition of it, and you see that Black Lives Matter, there shouldn't be any. There literally should not be any counter argument to that, because there's nothing to argue there, right? Which gets somebody in their brain automatically upset, because if there's nothing to argue, how can they have an opinion about it? So then they thought about that. They're like, let's push this. I bet you there's going to be a lot of people who are not against that. And that's only going to boost us up, which is going to give us more revenue, which is going to give us more money. And then at some point, we're going to reach to the top, and all you're going to see is Black Lives Matter everywhere. And then they got to the point where they actually did that. And then now they have so much money.
Oh, interesting. So the idea of it being just a grift
Yeah.
the whole way through.
Yeah.
I mean,
it would make sense.
It's a fun idea to entertain.
Yeah, it would only make sense. It would only make sense because I don't see any. The only positive thing that I saw come from that movement was how much money that I got, and I hate to say it, but how much money I got from a server was definitely the only beneficial thing that happened towards me. Like
Facts.
it's just I hate to say it, but
I'm interested in the idea that sometimes it takes the pendulum to have to just
settle back,
swing heavy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For it to get balanced again, and yeah, because it doesn't feel as
it plateaued at some point. Like it's the crash out happened. And now we're living past the crash.
Yeah, it was tied up with the lockdown.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
tied up
Oh,
with
yeah.
just
yeah,
so
COVID,
much.
Black Lives Matter.
I think maybe January 6th happened, and I think and then the Ukraine stuff, and then it's like there's just enough world events happening.
Yeah.
Post the 2020 craze.
Well, we
but
can.
That's the world we live in now, though.
Yeah.
It's like these huge world events happen, and
we're still worried about we're still worried about what's going on inside of our country.
Yeah, the price of my chia seeds went up.
Yeah,
that's what I.
Yeah, like it's just funny, man. That stuff like that always makes me laugh. Which is why.
Yeah.
I believe that same thing like you said, you got to create a little bit of chaos for it to come back, which is why I made that analogy last week where you got to burn grass for better grass to grow.
Yeah,
you got to burn
the dead wood in the forest
yeah.
has to die off kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That whole thing right there. I think that's a pretty good one because I mean, if you didn't understand, when you see controlled burns and forest fires, the reason why they do that is to put carbon into the ground, and carbon is a really good source of life for grass and whatnot. We're any living thing, really, honestly. And
the only thing is, it's just a delicate balance, and it can't burn too much.
Yeah, very true. And if it burns too much, then you got nothing. You're cut. You're dead. But that didn't happen. I mean, there was a lot of turmoil, but we didn't. I mean, we're still thriving. He's one of my really good friends. He's black. I mean, I'm black. He's white. Are you black? No, he's white. I had to check. I'm sorry.
No, but I will say this. There's a part of me that I've always wanted to do the 23andMe thing.
Yeah.
Just like there's gotta
a little smidge.
There's gotta be.
Yeah, I mean there's African blood in everybody.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you believe in the whole Pangea thing, then like which if you hold on, if you take each continent first of all, and like smash them together, it only makes sense that Pangea was a thing because they all kind of fit. Like South America fits like into the little, let me see, southeast, southwest. South America fits into the southwest portion of Africa, and then like same with America fits in the top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a puzzle. It's like a big puzzle. And it was just like one big continent, and then they split. So, and the way they split was the tectonic plates or whatever, however you want to scientifically do it.
The idea that makes most sense to me and is just most fun, and I go, oh, okay, I like that one. Is we had evolved from the monkeys and the apes or whatever, and then aliens came down, and we big alien monkey orgy, throw in some mushrooms, and like here we are. Like
that's whoa.
And then add this into the equation. Those aliens, by the way, are just evolved humans coming back to the past. So it's just this constant cycle.
So we're going to be the advanced aliens at some point, the advanced humans at some point.
I think we already are.
You think we already are? Ooh.
We find more out about history as we go forward into the future. Yeah. So it only makes sense that it's because we move forward in time that we have a greater understanding of the time behind us.
That would make sense, wouldn't it? That would make sense.
So it's really fun. People have brought this idea to my table, and they say, "Oh, have you watched True Detective Season 1, The Flat Circle?" Haven't seen it. Want to see it.
Yeah.
I have a hard time dedicating myself to shows.
Same.
But it's this idea that all of it is happening at once. And it's just hard to think about. But I like to think about it. And I won't go much further on that. And I'm sorry. And
no, that was great. I'm honestly, like, I've never heard of that theory in itself. I know aliens. Like, the whole, like, the idea of aliens coming down and, like, like showing us how to do like certain things and like certain tech that we didn't know before.
Well, think about it. It's like you've seen the pictures of like the Greys or whatever. Maybe the Anunnaki. I don't know, just the aliens with the heads.
Yeah.
And then you look at like old monkey, and then just smush them.
That's us. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. He's one of the smartest people I know. I'll stand on that. I will stand on that. You can't change my mind about that,
man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Talking with you gives me a lighter feeling to be able to express these thoughts and ideas.
Really?
It's just because I'm someone who like can get joy out of just unraveling a thing in my head, and that's why I like long drives.
Same.
That's why I like stretching a lot, because it's just okay. As long as I'm doing something while I'm doing nothing, my brain can
process at least.
It can brain out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, man.
Yeah, so like getting to talk to you is really, I'm remembering these things as they come up.
Yeah,
it feels so natural.
Yeah. Same. I think I have the same feeling going on. Like I become more comfortable with just talking in general, just talking with people, talking about what's inside my brain. I used to let stuff loose without a filter, and then I was like, at some point, I got too much of a filter to where I stopped saying anything, and now, like this year, I'm like getting like like I'm finding that fine balance right in between to where like I have a filter, but it's not controlling what I say. It's just a matter of who I say it to.
It's so important. I wage that most people don't investigate their thoughts and their words as much as that, because it's a helpful skill. How many times have you said something to people and then felt bad?
A lot. More than I probably should have, but yes, a lot.
And it's like, you don't have to, but you have to go through.
Yeah. Power through.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why do you think the BLM, why do you think the hey, real quick, why do you think the BLM thing came up?
For like,
just for the podcast, I think that was the first thing that was like, oh, we're gonna get in here.
Why do I think it came up?
I'm glad we did. It'd be fun to explore.
I think the reason why, if I remember correctly, last week I was just I don't know, I went off on a tangent. I think a little bit.
To me, it felt like you just brought up woke. And then
and
then it was like,
the whole woke thing. Great. It was the whole woke thing, and about how like certain groups of people think they're woke by doing certain actions, like giving some poor black kid $100. And then it clicked to me. I was like, you know what? That's a good point. Also, to add to that point, I didn't like Black Lives Matter movement.
It was just
it was just an easy like jump over. Because to me, like you said, it's like it has a heavy subject for people. I'm gonna say this, but I feel I don't want you to feel any way about it, but it's a heavy subject. I feel like for people who aren't black, but when you're black, it's kind of like, it's like, to me, like saying it and like somebody talking about it, like it's not, it doesn't, the only thing it makes me do is just, it makes me a little bit queasy because I just don't like the movement itself.
Because I imagine unless you were like so adamantly outspoken against it, it was just an easy topic to be like, man, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm immune to it because I'm black.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't, like you could tell me whatever you want. Like it's not going to change my opinion, and I'm not going to voice my opinion
it
about it.
It was more for everyone else to have an opinion.
Yeah. So like so that uncomfortability that came with it, I didn't have. So last week, whenever I was talking about like, people being woke and whatnot, it was just something that was so mindless just to bring me to, the movement. And it was just like an easy jump because I don't have that like wall of like, ooh, should I go there or not? Because also, if I get canceled, then I get canceled. But I'm not going to get canceled.
No one knows who you are yet, so you can't get canceled.
Can't get canceled. I love that nobody knows who I am. It's like a mystery between me and them,
Yeah.
It's like, who am I really?
I just feel like we need...
Set boundaries, for sure. Like, politics, I'm definitely not getting into.
Not like these people. I'm just saying, like... I feel like you have to be a little bit of a household name.
You think so?
In order to get canceled.
You think so?
Or at least, like, you walk into a mall or a bar and be like, hey, do you know this? Hey, who knows him? Like, some people like,
yeah.
Then you can get canceled.
Then you easily could get canceled. You know what I really want to do? This has nothing to do with getting canceled, but it's just like something that I've always, I don't know if I said this before. I want to go to Japan because I would.
This has nothing to do with getting canceled, but.
I want to go to Japan because besides maybe like 1 or 2 or 3, maybe 4 people are going to be taller than me there. And I know when I go there, I'm not going to hype myself up here, but I know some of them are going to think I'm a rapper or they're going to think like I'm a basketball player just based off of my height alone and my skin color.
Yeah, but you also carry yourself like a famous guy too.
I guess so. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
And I mean famous
that.
Like someone who's worthy or worth
yeah,
something.
Thank you.
Not some we're not fucking posers here.
Yeah, well, I'm not posing for anything.
I'm not Mike Poser.
Yeah, wait. Ooh. That was good.
Real quick, I love Mike Posner.
But he's not Mike Posner.
I'm not trying to be him either.
He's trying to be the best Steve that I know.
You'd be so tall in Japan.
Do you see what I'm saying?
It would feel so nice.
Oh my gosh! And then people would come up to me and they're gonna be like, "Aren't you?" And I'm gonna be like, "No, but I'll sign it anyway."
Dude.
I'll sign it anyway.
Imagine us just dapping people up in Japan,
I would be
dude.
so okay. So here's my idea.
Dapping up the jet. I don't know. Is that?
I wanna no. Well,
I won't finish that.
Yeah, that was good though. No, I thought it was good.
It would have rhymed, but it would have been a bad.
Yeah,
time.
it probably would have. I want to go to Japan, and I want to have 4 of my boys with me. But I don't want any of the. This is gonna sound bad, but I don't want any of the boys to be black. But for a specific reason, I want to be the only black guy there, and I want to be the tallest one out of the group.
I think the reason is because you're just not down with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah, that's the specific reason. Yeah, it's specifically. Yeah, I'm not cool with black people. Black Lives Matter.
We just want a smorgasbord.
Yeah. So I just want. Well, no, actually, I just want like a bunch of. It's weird. I kind of just want a bunch of white people to be my security, and a bunch of my friends to fake be my security. And it would just be cool to see like me and like have some hype beast outfit on, and then like just 4 white people standing around me with suits and ties just for a day. Like after that we can enjoy the rest of our trip, but like just for a day I just want to see what it'd be like just to have like a bunch of like either average or slightly below average height white people like surrounding me with black shades on and everything with suits and ties.
It wasn't suits and ties, but remember when I told you I said I saw Lil Yachty?
Yeah. That
was the same scenario.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Dude, his outfit was like it was just
some street.
It was like a video game.
Yeah.
He just had like 3 white dudes.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
That were at least a half a foot shorter than him.
And do you see what I'm saying? Like that's and if you go to Japan, if we go to Japan and do that, I'd be famous automatically. Like no matter if I did anything.
You could just walk around Japan. People would just give you money.
Yeah, it's an easy money glitch. 2024 not patched. I feel like we should do this. If we get the money to do it, I feel like we should do this. We should find 2 other nice average or slightly below average white males to do this with us, and we'll buy them suits too if they don't already have one.
Can I judge if they're below average or not?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You're above average. You're slightly above average, I would say, right?
Don't tell me things I already know.
Okay.
No, just kidding. We could bring my brother, one of my best friends, essentially a family member of mine, Seichi.
Okay.
He's half Japanese, and
He can show us around.
Yeah.
Has he been to Japan? I don't mean to like.
He has.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because like I'm an African American. I've never been to Africa, so I just
How's that feel?
I want to go. I definitely want to go. I just don't know when the time's gonna be. I know I'm going to go eventually. I just don't know because I have family up there. So I want to pick and choose. I have family in Kenya and then also have family in Sierra Leone.
So there's something just in your body that is just telling you like, yeah, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I'm bound to get there eventually. Like I know like my life is gonna take me there eventually.
You know what's funny is I feel the same way about England.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Have you been or no?
I've never been out of the U.S.
No?
Of A.
So let's get that happening. Let's
Vision board.
Yeah. Let's vision board us touring like the globe and doing podcasts like around the globe. Like fine, like we'll even.
I'll play songs too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we can like just bring entertainment or what we have across the globe.
I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah.
I believe in entertainment. I believe in band. I believe in us.
Yeah.
And I want to package it and I want to sell it to Japan.
Specifically? Pacifically?
Pacifically,
Pacifically?
Yeah. Pacifically.
Yeah.
Pacifically, Japan.
Pacifically, because that's in the Pacific.
Yeah.
Is it in the Pacific Ocean, or am I just guessing that?
I'm sure.
Am I guessing that? Let me know. Is Japan in the Pacific Ocean?
Be specific.
Be specific with me. It's Pacific in the specific location of Japan.
Here's the halfway point where I check the audio.
I like how you stared the camera down, like you were about to say something to it, and then you were like, "Nah, I'm not going to."
Because I have trust issues.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, good. We're still recording.
Both sides.
Wow.
Both sides.
That's
Golden.
nice.
Hey, Soggy Fruit. Yes, I know you weren't expecting that one. That one just popped up on the brain. That one was just like that. It felt right.
I worked with this Jamaican fella when I worked at ShopRite at a grocery store.
Okay.
I worked at the hot food section.
Okay.
And he had given me some. I was eating some watermelon, or he was eating watermelon, and he said, "We call this John Belly Fool."
John Belly Fruit.
John Belly Fool.
Oh, John Belly Fool.
Like
belly's
that was
a fool.
Belly's full.
Belly's
so
full fruit.
It was just like, yeah.
John Belly Fruit.
John Belly Fool.
John Belly Fool. Okay.
Because you eat this.
Okay. You say he's from Jamaica?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That makes sense. That's the patois language.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget it. And it's only because we were talking about BLM, we were talking about grocery stores. I just married the two in my head, and I was like, oh, this is a memory I have.
It was the Soggy Fruit. You don't have to tell me. It was a soggy
Watermelon is notoriously a soggy fruit.
It's a soggy one. It's wet for sure.
Watermelon's the only kind of fruit where you could say it's soggy, but that's not a bad thing.
It's not. Hey, I think I
You want a soggy watermelon?
I think I want a soggy watermelon. Yeah, I don't think there's any way around me not. If it's a dry watermelon, then I'm upset. And I'm upset. But that's with all fruits, I feel like, right? Like you usually the juicier the fruit, the better. Like what's a dry fruit that like you just enjoy?
Unless it like specifically dried.
Not dried specifically. Like it's not you wouldn't consider it.
Would you say bananas are pretty dry?
You know what? Yeah. That's a great example. That's literally what I was looking for. Yeah, bananas.
My favorite.
Bananas are good, man.
Bananas my favorite fruit just because it's the ones I eat most.
Bananas?
Yeah.
So do you so
smoothies, yogurt bowls, oatmeal, as is with peanut. It's one of the foods that I.
Yeah, you can put in everything.
And de facto, it is my favorite because I have it the most. But I wouldn't. You know what I mean?
No. I know exactly what you mean. So with bananas, out of curiosity, I found out that monkeys, gorillas, primates, all of them, when they get a banana, from the stem, They do it the opposite way. They do it from the they pinch it.
Yeah, dude.
Ever since I found that out, I felt wrong from doing it from the stem. I do it.
Bite it or something.
Yeah, no, I peel it. I pinch it from the from the tip, and I peel back.
Now that's a grift. Who sold us on that?
I don't know, man, but we've been doing it wrong for years, and I advocate everyone on the other side.
It's reasons like this where I understand flat earthers. You
know? Like they're telling us to peel bananas wrong, but somehow the world is round.
It's crazy. Like the most fundamental truths.
Yeah, like that. I was distraught. I actually was distraught that like that's actually how. You know what's another good one? Do you know, have you ever put oil in your own car before?
No.
So, you know how, and I think this is with all just like, even with like to a better circumstance, you know, Arizona tea, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the gallon jugs that have the handle? And they're huge, they're wide, and it has maybe you don't because you're from okay. So it's you know how the handle, like the liquid goes into the little handle spot,
yes.
like it fills up the thing.
It helps for a smooth pour.
Did you know that you're not? And it's the same thing with like the 5-quart oil containers. You're not supposed to pour it from where the closest is to the tip. You're supposed to pour it the opposite way. So whenever the handle if you don't use the handle and grab it from the other side and you pour it, you actually can direct it. You can direct it easier into whatever you're pouring into. Mm-hmm. So let's just say we're using oil for a car. The reason why you do it is because you have more time to gauge when the oil or when the liquid's coming out of the bottle. So like if you tip it the other way and you use the handle, automatically the liquid's going to be there.
Yeah.
If you go the other way, it takes time to fill up the chamber, you know, the little handle chamber, and then you can see it slowly moving, and then you can kind of aim it directly where you want. And it's worked every time for me. I saw it on a video once, and I haven't gone back. Like I don't use the handle to pour my liquids into containers anymore.
I thought this was somehow gonna come back to fruit.
No. The fruits, we're done with fruit.
Done with the fruit.
We're done with fruit. Yeah, I don't know if you ever knew that, man. Containers are weirdly different.
Yeah,
bro.
It's like those boxy containers that either rice milk come in or
yeah.
I don't know. Do you know rice milk?
No.
Rice milk, good. Or chicken broth.
Did you just say rice milk good?
Yeah.
That was good. I like that. Yeah. Rice milk good, yeah.
Your laugh made me laugh. But like the same boxy things, like if you have a chicken broth box,
yeah.
Same thing. You want to pour it with the spout.
With the little spout, yeah.
Other way.
So do you when you get your orange juice cartons?
I don't, but go on.
If you were to, do you twist the little tap off, or do you spread open the tab?
Yeah, no,
pinch?
Definitely.
You do that little number?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they always tell you. See, I don't understand. My question is why would you go through the time putting that much technology into a container that can just open up from the side? Like, and I know why. It's just like so you can seal it back up. But
it's probably because they already had the infrastructure that made the cartons exist anyway. So all they had to do was change just the spout.
I guess so. Oh, I guess so. So like, just don't change the design because you're already folding boxes.
Yeah, like they're adding to a design that already.
Yeah, But I mean, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But then to that point, how are you going to evolve if you don't try to fix things?
And here we are back at BLM.
Hey, whoa. Was not expecting that one.
Yeah,
that was good. That was good.
It came back.
It came back. So, practically, my whole point in all this is, you know, I hate's a strong word. I very strongly don't disagree, or I strongly disagree with the whole Black Lives Matter movement. Me and you are going to Japan with 2 other white gentlemen at some point. Mm-hmm. I'm going to look famous, and if you have a problem with that, go get yourself a Blue Lives Matter sticker, slap it on your car, and
don't get pulled over.
Don't get pulled over.
Dude, I wanted to do that.
What, get a Blue Lives Matter sticker?
Yeah, I was like,
and then get pulled
over for our tour van.
Yeah,
I was like, I think we should just get a Blue Lives Matter.
Dude, that would be so. I also want to do the same thing.
But then we'd be at risk at other bands.
Like actually liking it, like they actually
hating it.
Oh yeah.
No, the music space is so left that like.
Yeah,
you know,
you can't do nothing. You can't do any jokes
sometimes,
with that.
Or maybe it's not. I haven't been touring since before COVID, but that's because our tour van doesn't exist anymore, and we don't have budget. So this is a great way, actually, to say buy T-shirt. And this feels like a comfortable sell right now. I didn't try to pigeonhole this in. This
No,
just came up.
it's just natural feel.
But no, I don't even know what the music scene really is like anymore, actually. It's
No?
weird. I'm kind of actually just noticing this now. It's easy to see online because just like any community, there's going to have online communities.
Oh yeah,
for it.
yeah, of course.
But I haven't really been to local shows as much as I'd like because I've been working on my own tunes, baby.
You know what's interesting about the music world and the music community? Unless like you're really like a down to earth, like really not even down to earth. That sounds too cliche. Maybe just like if you're a good person, then maybe you don't feel this way. But it's like obviously competition is good, but just doesn't seem like. And it's what I don't know if it's maybe just like the specific genre that I grew up in because I grew up in the music scene. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of animosity between all the bands. Like, it just seems like no one, like, you get along, but it's like, you know, it's a fake get along type of thing.
Yeah, because everyone's looking to get their next big break, and
Yeah.
maybe if we get on a bill together,
Yeah.
then that could. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. We weren't given the best tools, I think, in this generation to have it's on us to kind of rebuild some of this stuff. You know, when I first started playing shows, dude, it was like pay to play. It was like pay a bunch of money for tickets that you now need to sell, make the money back,
Right.
in order to get like guilt trip friends and family. But it's like weird. So there wasn't a culture of like, no, play a show and get together and make music because that's what's nice to do.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's this maneuver to get ahead. But that's also the culture we live in, where
is.
a lot of this is just leverage and trying to get ahead.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's one example of it that kind of just counteracts what I said, and it's an example you showed me.
Mhm.
Whenever you got band dancing and that band shared the green room for like a night or something like that, and y'all were just like jamming out for a while.
Yeah.
That was actually like a good example on how people can get along and how different bands can get along, because it sounded like y'all had a good time together.
Well, I wonder if it's just different in the online space because that's much more about posturing and opinion sharing. In the real world of music and meeting people and friends and bandmates and other band friends, yeah, we're doing this together, and I love you.
I love you too. You know, the news tends to push drama. So, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Let's lead with that. Let's go with that.
The news tends to push drama. So when certain people say fake news, I mean, like, I get it. Like, I don't necessarily agree for half the time, but I get it. Like, you only see what you're being shown, and if you're shown. There was actually a study on this to kind of keep it in the Black Lives Matter subject, kind of.
We're all over the place. I love it.
There was a study on like just news and people reporting news, and there was a study that there would be a lot more crimes that were happening, but the only ones that were reported for like big time crime news and like, you know, like something that you would see would always be like a dangerous like 5'11", 6 foot tall black man who just like robbed a bank in your local like town. You know what I'm saying? And those stories like that would be pushed more than like John shooting up your local grocery store or something like that. And there was a whole study on it, and how many stories just didn't get posted.
Yeah, but it's skewed.
Yeah, or like things getting skewed around and whatnot. And it was just interesting to see, because then at that point you're like, how do I trust the news?
You don't.
Yeah,
I think
very true.
The news stations have probably primarily been bought and paid for since the 80s.
Very true.
CIA's involved.
Very true.
Operation Mockingbird.
Why don't we start our own CIA?
Our own Central Intelligence Agency?
Yeah, why don't we just become the Central Intelligence?
Yeah, what if we just say we got it?
Yeah, like we know what's going on, you don't, and you should take a step back.
We just go camping.
Yeah. Let's just go camping out in the woods. Let's go off grid, and the only time we're on grid is whenever we post.
Yeah, and then in the meantime, before we do that, we'll mail letters to as many people as we can.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
say
yeah.
we have it.
Yeah.
We have the information.
Yeah. And then post a random coordinates, like our exact coordinates numbers. Post not ours exactly. Let's put a fake one, because I don't want people to actually show up.
I don't want people showing up at our campsite.
Yeah, that'd be
bad for business.
That would be bad for business. That would be bad for business. Yeah, I don't want people to show up to our campsite either. No, but I like running with ideas like, let's just start our own CIA, because at the end of the day, man, we have people who are like 80 years old, 70 years old, 60 years old running the country anyway. Right?
Yeah, there's this idea that the order that was preserved in our society and in our culture was essentially the order that was put in place post World War II, and now all the people that helped establish that are basically dying, and
Correct.
The order that was established is just unraveling.
Yeah.
So I agree. Let's start our own CIA.
Nobody. I mean, obviously, if people could just fully just ransack the White House and like, I mean, there were consequences, but people could just go out there and run, go through the White House or not. It wasn't the White House, was it? It was the Congress building. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What building was that? A political building. I'm about to get canceled. Oh, shoot.
The Capitol. And you know why?
The Capitol.
You know why I know that? Is
How do you know
because
that?
they stormed the Capitol.
Oh, they did storm. That was a big headline.
They stormed the Capitol.
They did storm the Capitol. If they can do that, nobody should be mad at us for trying to start our own CIA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so if we have all the intelligence,
maybe we could. Can I cut you off?
Yeah.
Maybe we can just now use this platform that we have, give it to the audience, and say, if you have information,
send you.
Just give it here.
Actually, can you actually do that? I actually want to do that. Let's talk about. Let's let them give us information and we talk about it.
Yeah. And this will be our own CIA. We can centralize all the intelligence.
Why don't we make that a segment? Like a CIA segment where they tell us something and then like we just talk about what they told us and then I'll just be a whole CIA and then, well, unless we get flagged, like unless we like start getting like blacklisted, blacklisted. It's blacklisted. Like sometimes like you heard of the FBI agent thing, right? You heard of the FBI agent thing, right? Like everyone has their own secret FBI agent that's always watching them.
Oh, that's fun.
I always think I really firmly believe that.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll just be like, I'll just talk to my phone and ask my agent what he thinks of me right now. And, obviously he never talks back because, like, that would be kind of crazy. And, no, that's actually it. That's it. I just like to talk to my FBI agent.
Yeah. Well, you suffer from certain mental stuff, I'm sure, because we've talked about it. But just like me.
Yeah.
And I'm not, no, this is, I'm trying to find common ground here.
No, you're good. It's just how you started. I was like, yeah, I'll talk to my FBI agent. Yeah, well, you suffer from
mental illness.
Yeah,
right?
So it makes sense why. It makes sense why.
Well, no, I mean, because I have been in fits where literally the CIA, and I don't mean literally, but like, I've been on the brink multiple times in my life where, oh, no, they're watching me through the vents, and I need to watch every move I make. And if that's happening to you, seek help. Definitely let somebody know. But
oh yeah, it's not that deep. Like I
know yours isn't that deep.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me of like
yours was that deep at some point.
Oh no, yeah, I've had bouts of like bouts of like breaks from reality.
Oh wow. Do you care to explain one of those stories, or is this not something you want to talk about?
You know what? I think that's a good way to end it.
Yeah?
I think we'll start the next one
with the FBI
talking about breaks from reality.
Oh no, I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're good at this. We're getting good at this.
This is just happening.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we have something to talk about to start off with.
Curtis in the comments had said something about our predestined relationship. Do you guys ever just trip out about that?
I saw that.
And it's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was determined. It was going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
This was meant to happen.
God damn.
It's because our brains are too big for anybody else, obviously.
Our brain's
too big. But actually...
Our brain is too big.
don't want to hype anyone up, but well, actually, I do that all the time. But I always like to thank you guys for always continuously watching and supporting us, and a special shout out to Curtis, because Curtis is live commenting out there too.
Yeah.
I enjoy. I post episodes now for Curtis to see how he likes.
Since I'm running the account, like I saw the comments and I was so stoked, and I was like, oh, nice, and I didn't even like interact.